Yeah, hey, people! It's Sneaky Devil here, and this is Fanfiction Contempt Theater 9003. So,
It's the
not much
new
to say.
coronavirus edition.
No, I don't have the coronavirus yet, but being that I work with money for my entire fucking state, we're probably all going to die.
Oh, come on. It's too
No.
cold for it. It's too
Hang,
cold for the
hang
It's
on.
coronavirus to survive.
56
It's
up
going
here.
to just be you because your immune system is fucked.
No, that is a false statement. My immune system is amazing, except for the, chronic respiratory illness that I have.
Okay, but like it's only hitting people with underlying health conditions. So hey, your death might come in the form of organ
Yeah,
failure.
but you see, Max, my illness is very jealous, and it kills all the other illnesses.
That is not how that works.
Okay, so what you're saying is your chronic pneumonia is yandere for you. It just takes a break
It.
every so
So
often.
what I'm hearing is it's the ultimate yandere because it is actually killing him.
Yes, I have yanderade my illness.
No, you're
One of the talented artists in there gets started on Sneaky's anthropomorphized chronic pneumonia.
And we are actually coming up on me having this for a decade now. August will be the start of me having this chronic illness for a fucking decade. So that is that's a thing. I've been dying to this for a fucking decade. It is the worst case of pneumonia ever because it keeps not killing me. But no, honestly, it's gonna be pretty awful for me at my job once they announce the coronavirus has made its way to my location. Because people have been panic buying in every single state it's announced in, and like
Oh my god,
stores are
I'm in
being
charge of
emptied.
trying to get like basic stuff for my company, basic health precautions. We cannot get hand sanitizer. We had to buy surgical masks in a pack of 1,000. Um, like, and we had to buy off-brand, like sanitary wipes, like Clorox wipes. Yeah, everything's just gone.
yeah, because people aren't actually educating themselves on this thing, and it's like if you just treat it like a flu, just wash your fucking hands and teach your kids manners.
Yeah,
Ugh.
that sounds like a lot more work.
Also, depending on the hand sanitizer, that's not gonna do jack shit.
Yeah, funnily
Um,
enough, all those people that are trying to be like eco and healthy and the vegan shit, the ones that don't use the alcoholic hand sanitizer,
oh, they're fucked.
they're fucked.
Yeah, no,
Because
we made sure that the off-brand stuff we bought, we made sure that it had at least 60%.
yep, that's what's being recommended. So
Oh,
yes.
60% alcohol. Well, you know what else is 60% alcohol?
Your bloodstream?
It will be. Mm.
Also, what the
All right.
funniest thing about that is, by the way? I saw a lot of websites being like, by the way, don't make your own alcohol-based hand sanitizer. That's incredibly dangerous.
Oh
And
God, yeah.
then I see an article from The Verge, how to make your own alcohol-based hand sanitizer. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, no, the Verge
Oh
is.
please, it's not the first time The Verge has done something incredibly irresponsible.
Yeah.
No, it's not. But every time it happens, I'm just like, why do you still exist? How have you not been sued?
Because if they
Very
just put a
terrible.
thing in there
Very
that
big.
says, if they put a disclaimer in there that says, you really shouldn't do this.
But
But if
when
you're
the
going
head,
to, here's how.
what the headline is, how to make your own hand sanitizer. Like, I'm sorry.
See, what they
I,
should have done is they should have linked it directly to the WikiHow article that is an obvious parody of how to do it.
oh no. Oh, that's a problem.
So Phoenix Ride, aka Underplayed Creations, said he started recently reading Soulsborne's fics again, and they're surprisingly interesting. I actually don't read too many Soulsborne fics. Bloodborne I read a lot more of, because you can do a
He
lot
hasn't
more.
played it.
Well, I haven't played it, no, but you can do a lot more with Bloodborne in terms of a narrative story than you can with Dark Souls.
A lot of Bloodborne stuff is much more like set in stone than Dark Souls stuff is. It's much more clear cut and straightforward. So
Except for all the, Lovecraftian horror shit going on.
yeah, but then you can just pick up the wiki entry
True.
for HP.
Yeah.
So you're fine.
A lot of Dark Souls fics, I'll say, the reason why I don't read too much into that section is because I used to try to do that. Max was there for that 4 years ago, and
Sorry, what did we try to do?
try to read Dark Souls fanfics, and they were all fucking awful.
The only one that was any good was one that was just like, I'm gonna throw out all the
Why
actual
can't I just
established
pick up the
lore.
ring? Yeah. And then even that story went off the fucking bend.
That story got weird when he just straight up admitted that, like, no, I have an actual fetish for monster girls. I want to bang a spider. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, dude.
The story started off good and similar to ours, and then it just got really
Weirder and
fucking weird.
weirder. and
All the Dark Souls fics got really weird, and a lot of them were very fixated on having giant waifus.
Look, I think that's very strange. Like, listen, I personally kill Priscilla every run.
You are a monster.
I need that tail weapon,
No, you don't, you monster.
but I do. I also really like the life hunt scythe.
It's also
You
garbage.
don't need it every run through, though.
You are a monster. I do like how we dealt with Priscilla. I still go back occasionally and read our story max, and I still get a chuckle of how we dealt with some of the bosses.
How did you deal with Priscilla?
We fucking dragged her off the edge with us.
I see.
It was literally a moment of, I don't want to jump off this ledge, and Hovel grabs both of them and goes, fucking yeet!
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting when you're riding a rock that can just tie itself to people. But
You're coming with me.
just like, no, there's no diplomacy here. We're just gonna do this because we can.
We interrupted the Quelaag fight by having Valkyrie throw a fireball at her, and her just being like, I am literally half lava
I did
spider.
read that.
What the fuck did you think a fireball was gonna do to me?
I think we had her do a follow-up fireball just in case. I don't
Yes,
remember.
we did.
It's like maybe another one.
I literally
Points for
puke
effort.
lava. You what? I still get a kick out of our story. It's like the only story I can look back on and genuinely be amused by.
Yeah. Granted, there's still moments of like, boy,
Oh,
even
well-
after our rewrites, I still cringe a bit. at the way
Yes,
we
yeah,
write
well,
stuff.
absolutely. Some of the parts are just... they're painful.
Why did we do it like this? Oh.
But, you know...
Also, can I just say, quick aside, I love my parents. I do. I wish they'd quit sending me links on Facebook when they know I don't use Facebook and I despise Facebook. I loathe Facebook and they know this. They still try to share links like I'm not signing in. That could literally be a link scientifically proving that yes, we found existence of God, and I would still not sign into Facebook for that. I had to
Don't
send it
bother
to me
with
through
the
email.
Naruto Ruby story, Isley. That story is officially dead. It's not even on hiatus like the Dark Souls one is. That the Naruto Ruby one is literally never going to be updated again.
The Dark Souls one we want to
Just like
finish.
mine and Max's story is dead.
That one is dead forever. I'm sorry.
And here's the problem. I want to finish it, but it's not right.
Also, I still do get giggles out of the omakes we had.
Again, some of those fun. Others, what the hell were we?
Was it Ornstein? Yeah, the Ornstein sneeze was probably still one of my favorites. Oh my god!
everywhere.
It's everywhere!
And there are others you look at and you're just like, why did we do it like this?
Yeah.
Like the
I figured out by now the Dark Souls one is dead. No, the Dark Souls one isn't dead. I literally said the opposite. That one's on hiatus.
it's currently dormant.
I mean, we got
Whereas-
like 75% of the chapter done too. It's just,
which is the worst part because we don't know how to go forward from the 75% mark.
I mean, we
is
sort
our
of do, but it's like I
This is our
just
new
have
Oswald.
no energy. Maybe
Yeah.
during the summer I'll start getting more energy to write because my work will be leveling off. But especially this winter, it was super fucking heavy. And I would just come home with no ability to do anything besides smash my face on the keyboard for an hour or two.
Yeah.
Considering you've been saying we've been going back to it for 2 years, and usually that means the
Okay.
product is dead. Okay, look here, you little shit.
No, come on now.
I mean,
I'm
we're
thinking of
we're
this.
only approaching the 6-year mark.
Oh god. No. No,
Yes.
surely it's the 4-year mark.
Yes, 2014.
No.
Yes,
Tell me that.
6 years max.
August 5th. No. 2016. It's 2016. That was the last time we updated.
Yes, last time we updated, we started it in 2014, Max.
It's okay. You know what? In our defense,
We are the authors we complain about.
Mm. In our defense, though, it is technically novel length. It is 74,000 words.
I mean, yeah, we actually did hit novel length, and we are actually, unlike most other fan fictions, reaching the end of the story. We got, what, 2-3 chapters left, maybe?
I want to say we have at most four or five at the absolute upper end, because
Yeah.
it's literally just rounding up the Lord Souls now. I think that's all we actually have planned.
Yeah, literally, it's the Crystal Golem
hit-
fight happens, and that's the end of the current chapter we're writing. And then
We'll be hitting up Seethe.
then we're beating up Seethe, and then going back to Firelink. Oh yeah, doing New Londo and the Four Kings.
Or we got, oh boy, do we have plans for the Four Kings.
Did we have plans for the Four Kings?
Yeah, we did. We're making use of some Deus Ex Machina
Oh,
horseshit.
right. Yes.
We gotta take care of the
Nito.
Bed Chaos. And Nito. Nito,
Oh,
Nito,
God, Chaos.
I still want to do our initial plans for Nito.
We should, yes.
Our good old 1-2 meteor. I still want to do that. That still sounds like immense fun.
That's real fucking Nito! I know Havel wouldn't say that, but still.
We could have Valkyrie yell it once she learns what his name is.
Oh.
Honestly, that's adorable that you managed 38K in a month and a half. We managed that in a week's time.
Oh my god. Oh, holy shit. Early on, the early on development, like, most people would look at a 74K story with, like, a 6-year update rate and be like, oh, you know, maybe they're putting out a 20K chapter like every year or so. It's like, no, we literally put out 74K words in the first month. And then just never update it again.
No, as I'm talking about our initial a week since, and you haven't updated yet. God, I wish we updated a week ago. That'd be nice.
I mean, I wish we updated. But yeah, no, we accidentally in the span of 3 hours wrote 9K words.
Oh, we could have this done in like 500 words as well. Like 20 minutes, Sneaky, let's do this. Sneaky,
3 fucking hours later, it's 1 a.m.
There goes that pesky pneumonia of yours.
Well, what do you know? They say laughing cures you. Technically speaking, the laughing is making me cough up all the shit making me sick, so...
Oh my god, we had another plane crash. Really?
Yay!
We, another plane crash? Are we going to war again?
No, there's a plane crash in a Georgia county.
Oh, okay.
Also,
y'all need to stop getting drunk.
So, to commemorate the fact that someone said the word Soulsborne in the year 2020, we're gonna read this Bloodborne Ruby story. Just remember,
I like how people continue to fuck this up.
this is all Phoenix Ride's fault.
Who?
Why are Optimus Prime and Megatron previous gay lovers before the Cybertron War? I'm
What?
sorry, what?
What are you talking about?
What?
Lupine just posted in another Discord. Optimus Prime and Megatron were gay lovers before the Cybertron War. And no...
I need
Quote,
many sources?
Quote, and no, this is not a recent addition, this was some of the original canon.
Source?
I'm gonna need a big source on that.
Yeah, I just said
Like,
sauce,
listen.
please.
Listen, I'll admit that I was a fairly young child, so I may not have picked up on romantic underpinnings in my Transformers TV show.
Oh boy, so the author name is going to be bringing me a lot of good red flags for this story. So this story is a Bloodborne Ruby crossover called Despair's Remnants
I see. Firm grasp of the English language.
by Twin Gamers 011701. Which likely means they were born January 17th, 2001. Means we got a fucking child on our hands. Oh, he's still updating this story. It's 153,000 words. Okay, so... Author's note, I'm not going to scream out the word wait, but he basically bolds, underlines, and exclamation points it, so just imagine me screaming the word wait.
Ah.
I appreciate you not.
Let me first explain that I am not the author of Skyward Sword Remnants, the Link crossover. I am his brother. You can call me... You can call me the Bloody Abyss.
Oh, I love the honesty. I love the blatant honesty.
I am the author of this story, however, but I am also the editor of Skyward Remnants. So don't worry, my brother will still be working on that story. Aside from that, Welcome to my story. Now let me put this down on paper right here, right now. This is going to be a three-way crossover between Bloodborne, Ruby, and Dark Souls. Let it also be said that I have never played or beaten Dark Souls. Author's note: I dodge a ball that is thrown at my head. Fuck you two haters. I was gonna say that I've played Bloodborne at least, but y'all jumped the gun. Speaking of guns, author's note: pick up Evelyn fires blindly at a hater.
Don't
Take
you put
that,
a pistol into
asshole.
this.
Anyways, this prologue is like a red trailer for Ruby, except even shorter because they kill everything in 30 seconds. I won't keep this trend, but for a fight that is literally against mindless Grim, it's an easy win. Yeah, sure. That's why humanity is being desperately pushed back and nearly driven extinct. Because the mindless Grim are easy to kill. Also, I gave them all an upgrade, meaning the Grim are now stronger and faster than any human could ever be in their own world. 'Cause these guys might go up against some unfair beings, cough, like Rom and Miko Lash cough. But
I'm sorry, did they just try to say that two of the easiest bosses in the entire game are difficult?
Yes.
I just
Yes.
okay. Within universe, yes, Rom is kind of bullshit. Mikolash is just some random jackass with a cage on his head.
Mikolash is literally a librarian who read a bunch of Cthulhu books and somehow found Cthulhu in a dream.
And like the one thing he has is I can summon stars to do my bidding, but it has a massive wind up time. Yeah, it hits
Also,
really hard, but it's not faster than a bullet.
I need to run away.
And
Like,
Rom, listen, Rom's deal is Rom was holding back a lot of stuff, all right? Rom is actually harmless. There's no reason for you to fight Rom. You're the asshole here.
You're the bad guy here. But
also,
Ruby
Rom
guys
is
have literal
literally
shields.
any fight, any weapon with a vertical swing trivializes Rom. Just left, right, left, right, left.
Ruby
right.
hunters are just objectively better than Bloodborne and Dark Souls people because they have literal shields. And that deserves an upgrade as well. That's all I'm going to give you. See y'all next time. Okay,
Alright,
so
can we
first
please...
off, the Dark Souls undead are, objectively speaking, in terms of standard non-supernatural bullshit, the most overpowered humanoid characters, almost bar none.
Literally theoretical access to infinite potential unlocking. Like, it's not fair at
The
all.
Bloodborne characters are a bit more limited in that most of them are just really competent fighters, and
Yeah.
only one of them has access to the doll, which has voodoo magic that allows them to empower that person. But that person in the end is still just human, unless you do the fucking moon ending, which at that point you're not human anymore, so you can't really be counted on the human power scale.
Yeah. Uh,
In a fight between a Bloodborne hunter and a Ruby hunter, I would honestly put my money on the Bloodborne hunter.
Especially if it's the good hunter. The one that's chosen by the dream.
Fuck, even the crow.
Oh. Nah, man, you really want to fuck with them? Send in Ludwig. Send in one of the OG hunters that has an entire following. Like, that sort of his does shoot crazy moonbeams.
Yeah.
Even before his transformation. So.
And I mean, I'm just saying, you know, it's like Aura's cool and all, but it's really low powered, all things considered, on the anime scale. You get your one trick pony in terms of semblance. You really can't go outside your semblance. That's literally it. You have your semblance, and you can move faster than normal. Question mark, maybe. Because apparently normal soldiers are threats now. I don't. This is why I don't like Rooster Teeth anymore. But
I don't understand. Did something happen?
yeah.
No, it's one
Team
of those
Ruby, Juniper, Crow, and the Merry Lad S's ran from 3 Atlas soldiers.
Well, I was going to say it was actually a problem when Max and I were writing our shitpost because you either have to operate because Rooster Teeth has horribly messed up their power scaling because the issue here is either normal soldiers are useful and effective against the Grim, thus Atlas Field's military troopers,
Right.
or and therefore hunters in general, despite being somewhat faster and stronger than people, cannot be significantly better at it than them to make fielding an army of normal people an attractive proposition.
Now, to be fair, I do like the semi-head fan cannon, where this is a sensible one too, in where a huntsman objectively eat a disproportionate amount of food comparatively to the normal person, even a soldier. And so, in a place like Atlas, where arable land is basically non-existent, having soldiers with guns might actually be a more effective means of defense than training huntsmen.
You're right, but I'm just saying, on some level, there cannot be that significant of a statistical gap between a hunter and a soldier with a gun.
True.
Otherwise, regardless of how many, because the issue there is, it has to be cost effective enough that they're not just throwing people away, because Atlas doesn't have people to throw away.
Well, I think Atlas does have people to throw away. I think they're supposed to be like Germany, Russia, America. They're supposed to be this like crazy mishmash of a bunch of different disparate countries that have no relation with each other.
Indicated a population level enough that it, right. Let's say it took 10 soldiers to a Grim.
Yeah.
They do, just by the fact that they don't have enough arable land to support an absurd number of hunters also means they don't have the population to support just throwing people away.
True enough.
They can't. The other thing is, Rooster Teeth never adequately answered the problem of why does everybody not just get their aura unlocked?
Yeah, that too. Yes.
They never gave us...
That is where the part of the headcanon fanon was derived from, in that, we literally just can't support that, feeding that many people with unlocked auras.
Well, sure, but the problem with that is...
I've never seen that fan canon, but...
I would say,
I've seen it in like 2 Dead stories, and I liked it.
The more common one I've seen is
it amplifies emotions, and it attracts
because it's wearing
more
your soul on your sleeve.
Yeah. Which again is
Yeah.
another one that I do actually like as a fan.
That's one that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying
It
the issue here
makes
is
literal sense.
because Rooster Teeth never provided an adequate reason for it. There's no reason that one person gets aura, 2 people get aura, 4 people get aura, 8 people get aura, etc., etc., etc.
Right.
But regardless of that, it was a real problem for mine and Max's story because we had to opt. We basically had to unconsciously opt for what I just said, which is, yeah, normal people can beat Huntsman. They kind of have to be able to. Sure, it's really, really hard. It's like the odds of your normal street thug beating up Batman, but it can absolutely happen.
I mean, there's a couple of comics here and there of one of them getting a lucky shot in and like knocking him out or something.
I think
But
it
that's
should be
exactly
noted
my point. Like,
Yeah.
that the reason that you and I did that is because we literally had the setup of they're being trained by professional huntsmen. They can at least take on some trainees
oh no, I'm not.
at
We
the cost
absolutely.
of life and limb, but
But
Yeah.
the problem with
No,
comparing
very
Ruby
specifically,
power
not life,
levels,
only lip.
the problem with comparing Ruby power levels to other series, especially the Japanese series, is that the Japanese don't really understand what a power cap is. And I
Yes,
mean,
they have an entire subgenre devoted to ignoring that.
yeah. And
actually,
I mean,
at least one Japanese person does. But he keeps getting overwritten by the people who hire him.
I mean, to be fair, you could say that DC and Marvel are both examples of not understanding what a power cap is either. But even there is a larger. It's a what's the term, Max? It's a harder cap than what Japan does. I believe is the correct wording.
I'm not quite sure.
Where, Japan's got like a soft power cap, America's got more of a hard power cap when it comes to escalation. Like, Iron Man can only build such good of a suit. And he's literally shown multiple times in that his suit's just constantly not good enough and he has to go make a better one.
And until we eventually get to like, I am using literal nanotechnology. This is the farthest I can take this.
Yeah. And he still gets the shit fucking destroyed out of him. I mean, they kind of sometimes pull bullshit with the Flash. Superman's literal thing is I'm always the greatest.
Depending on the iteration, yes.
Okay, you really can't bring Superman in as any sort of example, though. His literal hero encapsulation is I can basically do anything.
Again, you can bring certain iterations in, like the original Superman.
Didn't the original Superman literally drag Earth by a giant chain so it wouldn't crash into some other sun or something?
Yeah,
No.
I was gonna say the original
I-
Superman actually went back in time, not by going fast, but by
no. The like OG, like his power set is literally he can jump really high and he can stop bullets with his chest.
Ah.
oh yes,
The he
Action
was a
Comics number
literal-
1.
He was a literal Superman, and that was it.
Right.
And then the ability to fly came from some jackass not double checking his sources. And, oh, this panel of him jumping over a building means he's flying.
I
This
think
is
the
why you check
issue
sources.
is with these longer running series is how they always have to increase their threat level instead of just buffing the next big bad, so it makes the previous big bad look less bad. Yeah.
But here's the
Yeah.
problem: a good writer, you can easily get. First of all, part of the problem is they don't understand that a big bat like Lex Luthor is the single most dangerous man in the entire DC universe.
Yeah. Yes, he is.
And he almost never fights people. He's just scary because he just plays by the law. not the rules, the law. On a similar note, the actual most dangerous guy is Vandal Savage. Vandal Savage only has one superpower. Vandal Savage cannot die. That is the only thing he cannot. That's the only thing he's got. He cannot die.
That's actually pretty useful.
Yeah.
Admittedly,
Yes.
in the DC universe.
Yes, but my point there is he has run the world multiple times for several hundred years at a go because
see.
he just runs nations.
I mean, objectively, I would say Doom is up there as well, because there's iterations of Doom that have literally kicked the shit out of Thanos, got all the Infinity Stones, reset the universe with him as God, and
Doom? Oh yes, Doctor. I don't know why. For some reason, I was so confused. Yeah, Doom. Sorry.
Led Earth into a utopia, and then said, wow, this is boring as shit, and just put everything back to normal and gave up the Infinity Stones because they made things too easy.
Don't forget the time he was also tricked out of the Infinity Stones by Spider-Man. Where Spider-Man basically said, "You're too much of a punk bitch to fight me without the Infinity Gauntlet," and Doom was like, "No, I'm not." Takes Gauntlet off. Gauntlet gets webbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they later referenced that with Spider-Man saying, "Hey, it worked before," and Doctor Doom's off on the side like, "It worked once, you asshole." Spidey, once was enough.
Yeah.
God. Anyway, so
back
to this actual story.
Here's the problem with that. Brainiac is actually not more threatening than Savage because almost all iterations of Brainiac go at some point. Okay, I think I've won. Ha ha ha! I will now unveil myself as Brainiac, and everyone goes, "Oh shit, that's Brainiac!" Punch, 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 punch.
What if we just hit the nerd even harder?
But the only person who can get away with punching Lex Luthor is Batman. And that's partially because he has enough money to defend himself from a lawsuit.
I would actually like that to be an entire, 12 comic arcs. Bam,
didn't Brainiac
I'm
pretend to be Trump at one
Wayne.
point in a new comic? Probably.
I don't know about that. I do know that at one point, in Superman Red Sun, Superman made him into an advisor, and Brainiac was responsible for creating a communist utopia, and then wrecking everything because he's Brainiac. By the way, that was far and away my favorite subtle dig. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it's the best dig ever at communism, because how did Superman make communism work? He told Brainiac to make it work. That was how he made it work. Brainiac. Also, yes, Trump was parodied by MODOK.
Okay, it was MODOK.
So completely other, nothing to do with DC. Nothing to do with DC, because we try to pretend MODOK doesn't exist because he's the stupidest fucking thing.
And
also,
yet
he's Marvel.
He continues to be here.
I would say also he's Marvel, so Yeah, MODOK was mental organism design, or no, wasn't it something? He's a murder machine. He was made by AIM. He's made to kill people.
Yeah. So anyway, this garbage story. Well, let's see what he does with it. Do you think this is what beautiful nights have become? That's a terrible way to start your story. A symphony of screams and roars. This has been going on for as long as man can remember. No, as long as men can remember, because, you know, they literally don't remember a time before that. Unless this is a fusion world. It's probably
Oh
a
boy.
fusion world.
Oh.
Well, maybe not that long, but we only know how it began. It all started at the very edge of Yarnum past a grand forest. Its name was simply Bergworth, the School of Blood. They studied it, blah blah blah. Began with tombs and contents. Tomb was in my blood, blah blah. God blood, blah blah. Bloodborne, bloodborne. No human ever got to the cursed place. 2 scholars came back, blah blah. First scholar, Lawrence the First Vicar, blah blah. Blood of old gods. Blah, a fateful day when a man took up a woodcutter's axe. Beast, foul beast. Speaking of the huntsman, and you shall. They aren't called huntsmen. Bloodborne hunters are called hunters.
Yep.
Also, occasionally in Fanon, murder hobos.
Ruby huntsmen are called huntsmen, occasionally shortened to hunters by the fandom.
No, sometimes by the show itself.
Is that canon now? Calling them hunters?
I don't remember the
Sometimes.
show ever calling them hunters. It's always been
Because
huntsmen and
for the
hunters.
I
first
thought they did
3
at least
seasons
once.
and season 5, they've been called huntsmen.
Maybe I'm just crazy, but yeah, it was huntsmen, sometimes hunts women, like sometimes. I think that got used once, didn't it?
Oh, I think
Huntswomen?
so. Yeah, huntswomen I think got used once. It's the
I
stupidest shit ever because swordsmen are both male and female. Because the word man in English is actually derived to be both. It used to be Whiffman and fucking Wereman. Wereman was actually meant male, and that's where we got werewolf from, manwolf. And Whiffman was female. That's where we got wife from. But man was used in both of them, so when English uses the word man, unless it's specifically given the context of male in the sentence, it is actually meant to refer to both. Fuck y'all!
I still don't remember huntswoman ever being used. It was only ever huntsman and huntress. When was
Yeah.
huntswoman ever used in Ruby?
Again, I was drunk for all of Ruby, so
Yeah, I know you were. I remember.
Huntswoman has been used a handful of times. Yeah.
I, I don't remember any of that. I feel like that would have been something out of a fan fiction written by someone who'd never even
It's
written
possible it's
anything
in the
like that.
season that we never watched.
Like, I could have sworn it got mentioned at least once.
Isley claims that it was during season 5, which we did watch. Barely, but we were laughing half the time and I was drinking. So it's possible that we didn't catch it. Maybe Atin caught it and Max was too busy trying to not listen to any of the shit I was saying while I was drunk.
Oh no, by season 5, we were uh,
We
just
checked
full
out.
on not giving a shit.
Yeah, we checked out.
We were just like, I'm gonna laugh at this.
Um. So anyway, he's just literally just explaining Bloodborne poorly. I took out a simple knife and threw it where the huntsman's voice came from. With a soft thud, I knew the beast was dead. Wait. The huntsman was a beast? What?
Yeah.
An even better question was this. Where was I in my story? Home, Lawrence, blood. Oh yes, the first beast. Blah blah blah, healing church, Gurman, is given really shit lines by the author to try and make him seem badass, but he just sounds fucking retarded. That was oh, apparently the narrator is Gurman.
What?
For tonight, the moon presence dies, and tomorrow the hunt will be easier. Why does this always happen to those who are chosen? I mean, really! Exclamation point. First, I wake up in some kind of asylum, beat some kind of asylum demon, which isn't as easy as you think, and now I was taken away by a Gwyn damned crow. Then told I had to fight multiple people and demons to
What the
find a
fuck is this?
kiln,
Can we just? Oh my god.
which I thought was some kind of cookery, and went to the past and killed everyone's favorite hero. I met Marvelous Chester, that cheap bastard. Oh, and let's not forget the simple fact that I am now eternally on fucking fire. It isn't my day and hasn't been in years. I hate narratives like these. This is why we literally made in our Dark Souls story the narrator an actual character, so we could still have narration and then we could have the funny quips. Because right now, all I want to do is drink this entire liter bottle of vodka and fucking pass out and probably not show up for work tomorrow.
Dope.
Yeah,
Also,
Nexus. This is a really shittily done crossover between Bloodborne, apparently using Gurman, the Chosen Undead, OC, and Ruby
nice.
crossover.
Also, I can confirm Season 5 did not use the term huntswoman.
Oh, you got the transcripts?
Yeah, because this community is fucking autistic as shit and has full
Yes, they
transcripts of
are.
every
That's pretty
episode,
much
which
the only
is
people left.
Great. It's great when you're needing to look at an episode to figure out what's the dialogue here I need to change and how did this episode go so I know how to write it. But Season 5 did not have any mention of the word huntswoman.
Were you just role playing a Ruby author there, Max? How can I replicate canon? What's the episode's transcripts?
All right, look, we did actually occasionally use the transcript when we weren't changing anything.
Oh, I know, but I was just making fun of how, like, at least 80% of the Ruby stories are literally just canon.
I was going to say, however, we made sure that we included the fact that A, it was just the transcript, and B,
No, not even that. We did our best to change the dialogue because we would insert ourselves into the conversations we were looking up.
yeah, I was going to say, we also did try to make the effort of, okay, here's what we need to say, how can we finagle this?
That being said, there were good things that came from this adventure. I learned how to be a knight. I learned how to use the bow from Go. I got stealth tips from Siarn, but she's a total bitch.
Really not.
She's
you
really
get
not.
like 6 lines of dialogue from her.
Like, the worst you can say is she's racist? Maybe?
I mean,
Like,
I
she's
still
racist,
like
that's about
the
the
way
worst.
we wrote. I still like our shy Siarn.
Well, because like
she's not even shy. She's like, just go away, human. Shoo.
I know. I was talking about ours. Max.
What are her lines? Hey, that's my friend's soul. Can I have that? And if you say no, she goes, all right, that's fair. He probably doesn't mind.
Yeah. Pretty much.
If you do, she's like, oh, hey, you're pretty cool for a fucking human. Here, have my swords. I don't need these anymore.
Pretty much.
Thanks, I
Yep.
guess.
And then if you don't, it's like, oh, fuck you too.
And if you choose to attack her, she goes, fucking humans. I'll beat your ass. So, like, what's the worst you can say about her? A little bit racist.
I killed the toughest challenge ever that all undead face, aka Smoen Ornstein. That
Wait.
was your toughest challenge ever?
Okay. I'm going to assume that this author is talking about doing a solo playthrough, because my first playthrough of Dark Souls, I beat those two on my own. That is the hardest fight, bar none, in a solo playthrough. Because it's two things at once, and they
Yeah,
don't
I would say
stop
if you're,
for anything.
I would say if you actually do it by yourself,
But in
Ornstein and
universe,
Smo are not easy because you have to keep track of them. I still had a pretty
in
easy time of
in
it.
in universe, nah, the moment you hit the likes of the Lord Souls, that should be the hardest challenge
Yeah.
in
Yes.
universe.
What killing
Um,
Nito should be even harder than trying to fight Gwyn.
I mean, honestly, the hardest boss fight we had, I think, was actually Nito because of those fucking skeletons.
No, it wasn't the skeleton, Sneaky. Remember, we managed to keep getting his AI to accidentally loop his most powerful attack.
Oh yeah,
The scrim. It
yeah.
kept looping, and it's like, what am I supposed to do? Sneaky, what am I supposed to do? He keeps attacking me with the stupid swords from the ground. Sneaky,
Um,
kill him faster. Your problem was the skeletons. My problem was I couldn't stop the loop.
yeah. Nito is hardest boss. Hardest
Dark Souls, come
boss.
on, Underblade. Come on now. Hardest boss in all of Dark Souls, going 1 to 3, probably was Slave Knight Gale and Midir.
Midir is definitely the hardest.
Nameless
Oh,
King was fun compared to Midir.
oh yeah. Meteor was probably one of
Although
the
you know what,
hardest.
I do think he's right. I personally I actually put Fume Knight up at the top because Midir at least you have an arena.
Fume Knight. Fume Knight is an arena. What are you talking about?
Creations got it right though. Quote, toughest challenge was Ornstein and Smo. Nameless King, Fume Knight, and Slave Knight Gale want to know your location.
Yes.
Okay, Nameless King. I would put him at 3, Midier at 2, and Gale at 1. Gale at 1 simply because if you don't use bleed mechanics on him, he will fucking spank your ass.
It could just get good, Sneaky.
Yeah. The only reason, remember, Sneaky, the only reason we had so much trouble was because we are in New Game 6 and 7, respectively.
yes.
It's also why we had to Pestilent Mercury Midir to death.
Well, yes, but the problem with Gale is that shit gets crazy near his third phase.
I'm so annoyed that his third phase doesn't last longer, because it's possible to kill him before the only thing that changes from phase 2 to phase 3 is fucking random lightning bolts, and it's possible to kill him before you even notice those.
Yeah. No, he gets more souls and shit going on.
Okay, I mean, yeah, but that doesn't really, like, his pattern doesn't change, I mean. Like,
Okay,
yes, his
yes,
attacks
yes.
get a little bit wider.
His pattern hits harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the change in the pattern.
The pattern hurts more, and then they go, by the way, random lightning strikes.
And to be fair, this is me, a person who only plays usually with 20 vigor. So getting
Without armor.
without heavy armor, so getting hit typically killed me. Fume Knight and the Iron Crown could be a pain due to the arena setup.
No, that arena setup, here's the problem with that idea. Unless you're, like, somehow worse than Sneaky at playing these games, you could easily lock off half that arena from not healing the Fume Knight, and he's not hard to keep close in.
Nameless King honestly wasn't as difficult. Nameless King's difficulty was an RNG. It really depended on what pattern he got into, because sometimes you walk into the arena and he just fucks your shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say also, I want to caveat this by our Nameless King is higher on most people on our list than most other people's because we fought him before the nerf. We fought
still
him
wasn't
back
that-
when his bird dragon thing had way more health.
It still wasn't as bad as you guys are making it out to be.
No, I mean, we did farm him. I'm not making him out to be bad. It's just, while we were farming him, there was, like, sometimes we would just tank and spank
That was
him.
so great.
But sometimes when we were farming him, he would just fucking one-shot us both, because he would just catch us in, like, this one pattern that just annihilated us.
Well, my personal favorite was My personal favorite was the cockiest I've ever seen.
Don't worry, we're professionals! Walks in, dies immediately.
So we'd both beaten the Nameless King. Once in mine, once in his. And then we're like, all right, let's go see if we can farm him. And then Sneaky's like, we walk in, some guy summons us, we go in, and we're still in our own voice chat. And Sneaky's like, don't worry, buddy, we're professionals. And the Nameless King just came in with the spear
He
dunk
fucking
and just
Ornsteined
one-shot
me,
him.
Max. He Ornsteined me.
Oh. Oh no.
Like, Max, he finished the animation and the spear was like a millimeter above his head and just BAM!
And then he
Mentioned
just
sneaky-
bam, bam, throw, zap. And I was like, oh. I
Honestly,
guess
He was
the hardest
dead
thing
inside of
about-
10 seconds.
The
It was
hardest thing
beautiful.
about Nameless King, honestly, for me was I couldn't get a lockdown on his patterns because I was playing. It was 4 of us, so we break into teams of 2 and 3. And I was like, all right, you know what, guys, stop. I'll get with you in just a few minutes. 6 minutes later, okay, guys, I beat Nameless King. Wait, you sold him? Yes. In one go. I know his patterns now.
Hardest boss in Dark Souls 1, though. Hydra was annoying.
Okay, the Hydra
Hydra's not
doesn't.
a
The Hydra is
boss.
not
No,
difficult.
he's not a
No,
boss,
well,
though.
no, Max. The Hydra is technically a boss. Because it's listed as a boss in the
Is it?
files. Yes.
Oh.
That I don't
And that's
care.
actually important
It
because
didn't get its own big health bar at the bottom. You can fuck off with that nonsense.
no, Max, we know it counts as a boss because if you use the boss randomizer, one of the things that gets randomized is the Hydra.
Oh, that could fuck your shit up if you if you get a
Oh,
bad
no.
arena.
Oh,
No.
Taurus
so
Demon gets replaced with Hydra. Let's do this.
No. They do put some restraints on there. Like for instance, the Asylum Demon can only be replaced with the Asylum Demon, the Gargoyle, and I think it's the Taurus Demon.
Oh, that's lame.
But the Hydra can be replaced by anything,
Well,
including
yeah,
bosses like Priscilla.
that's still not bad.
how does that?
Priscilla's not
work?
difficult at
Like,
all.
Oh, how does that?
Sneaky, you're trying to fight her in a massive space with no snow.
Right, so it's like fighting Freed again. I don't. Yeah.
It's just much larger. I'm sorry, what were you saying, Max?
How does that work when the Hydra's in a lake that is a guaranteed death?
They
drop?
spawn them on the. They just
Yeah.
spawn them on the shore.
That still doesn't make any sense. Though, why would it be recognized as a boss in the files?
It,
Because at no point does the Hydra ever pop with a health bar in the same way that Capra and Taurus demons do.
I can't tell you that. It may be they originally intended to make it a boss and then just didn't. That's entirely possible. It's like there's random Bloodborne data in Dark Souls 1.
Yeah. I still
isn't
just don't
Jester.
think Ornstein and Smo are as hard as the author is making him out to be in this.
Only as a solo play.
Oh, also, by the way, one of the funniest things, I was watching someone play the randomizer. Their Taurus demon got replaced with Manus.
Wait, hang on, dude. The fuck?
What?
Are they literally just categorized by files?
Yeah.
Because if that's how it is, Hydra's a mini boss. Hobble the Rock is labeled as a boss, and rightfully so.
I fought the giant
But-
wolf, but I didn't know it was Sif, I swear. Exclamation point. And I killed a god that slayed dragons. Okay, hold up, champ. You didn't kill a god who slayed dragons. You killed the shell of a god who slayed dragons. Because
What
by
do
the
you
time
mean?
you get around to killing Gwyn, he is basically gone.
He may in fact be talking about the Nameless King, Sneaky.
No, this is Dark
No,
Souls
this is-
1.
Yeah, this is Dark
Yep,
Souls 1.
You're right. I'm sorry. Yeah. it's only
Still
Dark Souls 1,
pales to my greatest discovery. Turns out I can no longer die by alcohol poisoning.
Jesus. Oh, fuck this.
Let's
bullshit.
just say I drank 24 barrels of mead. I don't even get drunk, so I didn't have to worry about hangovers. Oh, and I also gained these babies. Both Artorias greatswords and the Abyss greatsword. And let's just say I was very sad when I obtained the Abyss greatsword, though. Like, this is just a very painful narrative. And not a painful as in, oof, this hurts, but as a cringe, this hurts. You know? Like, it's not like an emotional moment of like, oh, I know what you're referencing, my feels. It's like, I
Boy,
know
this
what
is
you're
really ham-handed
referencing.
shit. I feel bad.
This is painful to read. Yeah. Artorias truly was the greatest of knightses.
Why did he apostrophe? Why is that possessive?
He was one of those knightses that everyone wished to be like. Kind, honorable, strong, and most important, loyal. That's really not the most important. Sadly, he stared too far into the abyss. No, he literally fought the abyss until he died.
Yeah.
That's not staring into the abyss and going insane. No, he literally fought the abyss, Manus himself, and lost.
He got the Manus, yeah.
And when he lost to Manus, he didn't go, oh man, I guess I'm just gonna go crazy and start killing people now. He sequestered himself and still managed to, in his insanity, restrict himself to mostly just killing the abyssified people.
Also, I want to point out,
Which I have to say is incredibly awesome.
yes, it is, but
Yeah.
the
Well, I
other
wish they
thing
hadn't
is,
removed his voice lines.
Oh,
yeah, I
That
was
was
just
God,
saying,
yeah.
the voice lines make a huge difference there.
Mm-hmm,
Oh yeah. Like, he's still in there, and he just can't stop.
And because here's the thing, even if you subtract the voice lines, like, the way he fights you is clearly holding back.
I mean, not only that, his intro is literally him still hunting down and preventing the abyssified remnants of Uldasil from escaping. And it's just like, this guy is literally going insane, can't even rationally act anymore. And he's still doing his job.
He's still like, they aren't getting out.
Still doing your job when you can't even think anymore.
And I want to point out, it's also interesting to note that the place where he is the place where he's stationed himself, where one of the other Knights of Gwyn is on
Watch over.
I don't know what Go's doing up there, right? It's like a combination. Go's basically been given an easy retirement, but he's still technically on the job. But like, look, Go is able to peg a dragon while blind.
Yeah.
So you bet your ass that if Artorias came tearing out of the arena, Go could peg him too.
Which, again, the 4 knights were just pretty awesome in general.
I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying he managed to go, like, I can't imagine that he didn't, say something to Hawkeye go along the lines of, if I
Yep.
leave this arena,
Kill
I
me.
need you to shoot me,
Yeah.
before he completely lost it, because we know that he was only in the process of losing it when he left the Abyss,
Yeah.
because he got his ass beat by Manus, and they made it at least far enough to find a secret room and for him to use his curse-stopping great shield to save his buddy.
Yeah.
Well, it's also possible that that occurred before the fight against Manus, and that's part of why his arm's fucked up, because he went in without a shield.
That's also possible
No,
too.
I thought
don't-
the cutscene was him saying he can't use the shield anymore, so he was giving it to Sif.
Hold on, let me check the
Yeah, go
There's
look up that
flavor text
cutscene.
somewhere on that shield.
Anyway, I
So,
aspire to
this-
be like him, slaying all that wish to end the great age of fire. That's not what he was a knight for, though. Nito, the first of our kind, who wished to make the land in his own image, dead. The Witch of Izlith.
defeated by Manus. So this is coming from the wiki. So I don't have the actual text that tells us this, but
Is this
defeated by
Fextra
Manus
Life?
in the Abyss. Yeah, Fextra Life.
Okay.
Defeated by Manus in the Abyss, Artorias sacrificed his great shield to protect his loyal companion, a young Sith, from the myriad of humanity sprites that litter the deepest reaches of Ulasil.
Yeah.
With his left arm shattered following his confrontation with Manus, he had no use for the shield and chose to wield his greatsword in his one good hand.
Is this off of his?
Okay, hold on. Let me.
No, wait. Which item is this specifically off of? Because Fextra Life has a bad habit of
Inferencing.
putting random lore in that are theory videos rather
Okay,
than
hold on.
actual text within the game.
Isn't the Age of Fire kind of a shit thing? Sort of, yeah.
It depends on who you ask.
That in Dark Souls 1 it wasn't very clear, but as we got the full picture between 1 and 3, the Age of Fire was actually Gwyn's attempt at holding on to power. In that they sort of knew that even if the fire went out, the humans would still be around and would be just fine. So he did basically do fake news to make everyone believe that if the fire went out, everyone would die. And we did kind of use that lore in our Dark Souls story, and where that we postulated that if the fire went out, time and space would be big wonk. Blinking the flame is actually pointless and self-destructive. And it's not pointless, but it is perpetuating an age. It's sort of like if there was somehow like some relic that if someone was sacrificing themselves to the relic constantly, Rome would never technically fall, even though the entire capital had been, destroyed by barbarians and the lands shattered. Like it, but we could never leave the Roman age technically, because as long as this relic's being sacrificed to, we can't leave the Roman age. That's basically the best equivalent I can come up with on the spot while drunk. Is that, and it's like, But the Roman age still wasn't bad. It's just, in hindsight, the Roman age ending, we go through the whole Dark Ages, and then we come back with the Renaissance. Hmm?
Artorias has like 2 different sets of he's got 2 great shields, 2 great swords, and the Abyss great sword
No, he
itself.
only has one great sword or great shield, doesn't he?
No, the cleansing great shield. That's the thing you pick
Oh,
up that
yeah.
was protecting Sif.
Oh
There's the
yeah.
great shield of Artorias, which is gotten from Sif's soul, and then there's the cleansing great shield, which was protecting Sif. That's how you
Right.
get the special cutscene where Sif is really sad because now he's got to kill you because you're trying to take something you really shouldn't be touching, and then you feel sad because you killed a good puppet.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh, good
so
puppet.
you are correct.
According
We
to the
don't
flavor text.
know why he gave up the great shield.
Oh no. The flavor text says Artorias, deeply scarred by the abyss, used this to form a barrier to protect his compatriot Sif. So no, it probably was. It could have been before or after the fight, but if he's been scarred, it probably was after the fight. Then
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was just say we know for a fact that it would have been either seconds before fighting Manus, or
This is the 2 scenarios that this could have happened with. So before he fights Manus, something happens where he gets infected by the Abyss heavily, and he's like, well, shit, there's no real point in me holding on to the shield now, because I'm already infected by the Abyss, so I'm going to use it to save Sif. Or he fights Manus, gets his shit kicked in, goes, holy shit, I'm dying to the Abyss now. I've gotten away, but I'm going to succumb, so I'm going to use the shield to save Sif.
the thing that I would say that lends credence to the second theory is where you find Sif.
Yes.
You find Sif right next to an elevator that leads up to where you ultimately find Artorias.
Yes.
Like, none of that is speculation. My personal speculation is he loses, uses the Great Shield to protect Sif, goes up the elevator, because the other thing is he knows that if he goes up and leaves Sif down here, Sif will be safe.
Right.
He goes up, runs upstairs, pays a visit to Hawkeye, and, at this point, he's probably basically lost his mind, and he basically is like, if I leave this arena, kill me.
Basically, yeah.
And then goes in there, and basically the last thought burned into his mind is, kill anything that comes in here.
Max is about to get fucking irrationally angry.
oh,
The
Why?
Witch of Izalith and her daughters, the people who use flames to cause calamities, teaching man and enticing destruction. Gwyn.
Teaching men their enticing destruction, first of all.
Yeah, so I don't even know what that's supposed to mean then. Gwyn, god of sunlight, who wished to free men from the ancient age, the age of dragons, turned hollow by his daughter's selfishness.
Pardon?
I've never heard that bit of lore.
Okay, the only thing I could possibly think of is they're referencing that Gwyn fucked off with the flame god Flan, but that happened after the Age of Fire ended.
Fucked off.
Gwendolyn.
Gwyn's still there. Guinevere fucked off.
That's what I'm saying. Gwyn and Flan...
No, Gwyn is the father.
Guinevere, right, I'm sorry.
Gwyn and Flan had a
Different
secret
story.
homosexual relationship with each other, and that's
Flan
why he
became a god of
hollowed.
fire by stealing it from Gwyn.
Was the cock
God.
really that good, says creation.
The answer is apparently yes. No, but you're right. So Guinevere and Flan left, but that didn't happen until Gwyn had already turned himself into cinders.
Yeah. And then the one without scales. This one was actually pretty what? Seath,
Who wished to
claim what was taken. Seath, who wished to become immortal like his brothers, betrayed his own out of pride and lust.
Technically, maybe he betrayed the other dragons because they were kind of dickheads.
They were massive cunts.
I mean, depending on what definition they're using for lust, technically, yes. It like you can lust after material items.
Yeah, unless he's talking about the fan favorite theory that Seath got it on with Guinevere before she left.
We're not. Look, I'm ignoring that. I'm just saying, technically, the author can be using the word correctly.
I know it's still very awkward in terms of wording. Nexus says, "Is maybe the author's trying to show that the character is unreliable?"
No.
No.
Side note: is this supposed to be Oscar? I mean, I suppose it could just be the chosen
No, it's
undead knight.
chosen undead OC.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
just the knight. then.
It's just undead OC. Yeah.
Undead knight, got it.
The thing here is that we could give more credence to the author just showing the undead being an unreliable narrator if he actually didn't write it like he was in first grade. You know?
Yeah.
And so began the Age of Fire, and here I was, just an undead knight trying to obtain a dream, despite everything going against him, a curse, man, gods, and destiny, to burn forever for the sake of people who wish to kill me. What an honorable end for a dishonorable existence, and so I burned.
Well, Nexus is now confused, but that's pretty usual for this show.
And so, Gurman tries to do some humor where he talks about pigs, shit, and the sewer. And just generally more Bloodborne lore given really poorly through Gurman point of view. And then he gets yeeted by, Amygdala.
No, so Nexus, this is very
I think that's
specifically.
supposed to be the good hunter.
This is very specifically
No,
a
it's
Soulsborne
because,
crossover.
Okay, no,
Sneaky,
maybe it
this is
is.
Sneaky, this is Soulsborne Ruby, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's an OC chosen undead who becomes the OC good hunter, who's then going to end up.
No, the chosen undead and good hunter are separate people who both end up in Ruby.
Yeah.
Oh, that's even dumber.
Yes. Personally, I did read a really good Soulsborne Ruby crossover. No, it was just Dark Souls. Never mind. It was where it was a fusion world where, like, before the age of the god of light and dark, it was the age of dark, and then the age of fire, and before that it was the Dragon Age. Not a crossover with Dragon Age.
No, Nexus. That was hinted way back. That was straight up told to you back in Dark Souls 1.
Wasn't the whole gods and Gwyn weren't good as initially portrayed thing hinted in Dark Souls 2? No, it was straight out told to you in Dark Souls 1.
Yeah,
all you had to do was talk to Darkstalker Cat. Now,
there's a
to
sequence
be fair,
break specifically that does that.
To be fair, they accidentally made it really, really hard to get that information.
No, that wasn't an accident.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
No, I mean, it's not just from Darkstalker. Also, if you even attack Guinevere, I know it's like, why would you attack Guinevere? If you attack Guinevere, she disappears as an illusion. And it's like, hold on a second. I was talking to an illusion. I was being given a quest by an illusion. And then, if you exit after attacking the illusion and making it disappear, you get confronted by 3 people who go, you've learned the truth, now you must die.
Well, and in addition to that, even just the the fire ending, your character is completely flabbergasted at the fact that they have caught fire.
Yes.
My character wore a helmet. They didn't seem flabbergasted. It was like,
No,
like,
I
their
believe
body
Atin is
language.
referring to the
Like,
part where they
violent-
link the flame, and then they're like, "Whoa, my hand's on fire! Oh, it's traveling up my arm! Oh, what the hell's going on? My body's on fire now."
the body language to me was always like, well, this is new.
Hmm.
Or mild confusion. Than
It's
flabbergasted.
different interpretations, I suppose, but yeah, and it wasn't really told that you'd be sacrificing your life. It's just we
Yeah,
were just
that
told by
was-
Fram.
No, I was gonna say it's
was never explained unless you talk to Cave.
Cave, yeah.
well, yeah, I would say because everything Framp tells you is, yeah, buddy, you're gonna take Gwyn's place.
And not it wasn't even like you're gonna take Gwen's place. It was like, oh yeah, you just gotta link the flame, basically like you've been doing to all the other flames. And
Never mentioning that last one involves Foom.
it involves killing yourself. Yes.
Wasn't explicitly stated that you wasn't. Yeah, that's Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Dark Souls 1, and I think there's even some item descriptions that are like, yeah,
Heavily
these guys aren't
implies.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
all the item descriptions to do with the painted world, where it just says,
I mean,
yes, so the
it
gods
also doesn't really help that Havel had a secret room containing all of his armor and weapons hidden inside the castle. He also
And-
had a bow and binoculars pointed at Seethe.
There was also the occult club.
Yeah,
Which
the
had
Well,
God
yeah,
Killing
interesting
Club. It's like,
flavor
okay.
text. Oh god, what was that flavor text?
Well, well, and then of course there's the fact that, like, all the flavor text with Priscilla is, yeah, so this chick could like kill gods, so they threw her in a painting. And then they used that painting as the dumping ground for everything they didn't want to deal with. The painted world was literally Anna Orlando's dumpster.
Fucking suicide bombing hollows.
Painted World wasn't Anne Orlando's dumpster.
It was Seethe's dumpster.
Yeah, that was Seed's dumping ground, not
Okay.
Anne Orlando's.
Okay.
Yes, that was where Seed stuck all the failed experiments.
Okay. You are correct. Here's the problem with that.
Okay.
At minimum, Anne Orlando allowed this.
They didn't really have a choice.
Honestly,
They could have just destroyed them.
No.
Actually, there's a very good chance that no one actually knew what was going on. Because the fact that you need a very specific item to go into the painting implies that Seed has something that makes it so that only he should be able to.
Not only that, there's also the painting guardians, which you could imply are meant to keep people in or inside the painting or keep people out of the painting.
Okay, but it's in a giant chapel in Anne Orlando.
Okay, yeah, so here's the premise.
That would have been a gift.
Seethe goes, hey, I have a giant painting for you as a gift. Also, I hired a shit ton of fanatical mercenaries to protect the painting.
With their lives, and they'll kill people who come in that aren't supposed to. Like, look, I'm not saying they were the sharpest knives in the drawer.
Also, you
but-
have to keep in mind that Seethe turned priestesses of Gwyn into giant blue slime creatures.
No, not even priestesses. They were just straight up like handmaidens to Guinevere.
Yeah,
Yes.
so he was kind of doing a lot of low-key experimentation that would not have been approved by literally anyone.
And it would have been mostly rumors, and it would have been like, well, we can't investigate this because, it's a duke.
Seath.
Not even Seath. He was a duke on top of being a
Yes.
dragon.
I know he was a duke.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. I'll be willing to concede that, but the point is, it was a dumping ground.
Yes, it was a dumping ground. Anyway, so really, so Good Hunter is apparently basically the same personality as the previous Chosen Undead. blah blah blah, really shit commentary, I was a murder hobo, blah blah blah. Really shit commentary from the Chosen Undead talking about how time has passed. Also, he's got all of his swords and armor still. Blah blah blah. He's finally able to move again. The flame is gone. I wondered how hard it is to move after kneeling here for so long. I fell flat on my face. Apparently, it's very hard, I mused. Ha 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 ha. Such witty commentary. Yet I did not mind. The dirt was cool, and it was heaven compared to the fire. What Nito's curse tried to destroy, it was life all around me. Groggily I looked up, and I'm in the fucking forest again. And, apparently the amygdala, instead of eating me, fucking yeeted me into a forest. I'm gonna kill all these amygdalas. Alright, let's see what this moon looks like now. I bet all of my knifes that the land was made from stolen... Yeah, knifes.
Okay,
Plural,
so
knifes.
my apology. Okay, so the reason I got my information, my mistaken thought was the text for the Life Hunt Scythe is Scythe born from the soul of Priscilla, blah blah blah, trapped inside the painted world of Artemis. Even the gods feared Priscilla's life hunt ability, and in the hands of a mere mortal, its power will turn upon its wielder. So even the gods feared Priscilla's life hunt ability. That's where I got the idea that an Orlando shoved her in there. The gods put her in there. That's where I got that idea. My apologies. It's not stated.
We don't know how many people knew about the Painted World, but we did know that there are rumors about Priscilla because of the flavor text on the doll, which is implied to be hers.
Well-
Which, by the way, in Dark Souls 3, probably one of the most rage-inducing fights, not because of the fight itself, but because of the implications of the fight, was without a doubt. Whatever the fuck that giant slime was called.
Aldrich.
Aldrich.
I
Oh
know
man,
Smack Side played,
I was fucking furious after the
oh
Aldrich
my god,
fight.
listening to Sneaky in that entire fight. Oh. Well, and I remember I was the one who saw that it was a scythe.
Yeah.
Because remember, I remember we were super confused because I got.
Oh yeah, when you first see that
healed
scythe, yeah.
midway. He healed midway through the fight. We're like, wait a minute, why does health bar go back up? And then he hit me with it again, and I was like, wait a minute, Sneaky, he just hit me with a scythe.
I was
No,
fucking furious.
Oh yeah.
For the ones who were familiar from all their nights of research, yeah, when you see that scythe and you see the effect, you're like, oh, that's Priscilla's scythe. Oh no.
It's Gwendolyn's body and Priscilla's scythe, and it was just the Eater of Gods, and I was just like, you piece of shit!
And then he died to arrows.
For as much of a cunt Gwendolyn is, he is actually technically a good leader and a good person at heart.
Yes.
Like, he protected his city. He did what he felt he needed to protect its citizens.
And he didn't, like...
He wasn't a tyrant, either.
Yeah.
But it's just why?
His knights were tyrants. They were a little bit fanatical.
Yeah.
And Nexus just realized, because of us, the connection between his scythe and Priscilla.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, if you take Aldrich's soul and you look at what it makes a spell called a faint memory or some shit like that.
No, it's called Life Hunt Scythe, Sneaky.
No, I'm talking about the spell description. It was like a faint memory of a distant dream or something like that.
No, No, it's so much more blatant than that, Sneaky. It's Aldrich dreamt as he slowly devoured the god of the dark moon. In this dream, he perceived the form of a young, pale girl in hiding.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh.
It's not even subtle.
So fucking furious.
Well, because I remember, like, we saw that happen, and we're like, wait a minute, that's kind of like Priscilla's thing. And then we went and we read the description, and we're like, oh, I see.
Justice mode activated. Eyes glow. Real shit time. Chaos fireball. Chaos fireball. Burn, bitch.
And then there's the Dark Moon Longbow, which is just, yeah, this used to belong to Gwendolyn, but he got et.
You got eat.
Although I do love that the game is like, oh my god, please use magic arrows with this.
Yeah.
This golden bow is imbued with powerful magic and is most impressive with moonlight arrows.
It is most impressive with moonlight arrows. We are literally telling you what to use it with. Nobody used it with those.
No.
Can I just say, by the way, it's impressive that Grey Rat managed to find an unlimited supply of those when he went to search for the ruins.
Here's the thing. I imagine he went down to Gwendolyn's old tomb and was just like, why is there like 10 million arrows here?
You know what? Legit, I would like if the answer was like, oh, Gwendolyn has spent the last, like, some odd thousand years, like, I hope the Chosen Undead comes back. I'm getting tired of making these. I need to offload them. He always pays good money.
Oh, now you just reminded me of our Gwendolyn scene, Max. Where fucking Valkyrie just yeets Hovel's helmet.
Oh.
Donk! I deserved that.
It's like, how dare you? Hang on a second, kid. You did extinguish the sun. Oh. Right.
I want to see Aldrich devour Gwendolyn's older brother. The Nameless King?
That wouldn't happen. Like, I got news for you. Okay, it took
kind of a
Aldrich
non-combatant.
hundreds of years. It took Aldrich thousands
Sometime.
of years to
We don't-
begin to even partially digest
No,
Gwendolyn.
we don't know that. It took some time, but we don't know if it was like thousands of years.
Well, it took
Okay.
enough
It
time.
could have just been 100.
Yeah, it took
you know,
enough
and then
time
1,000
for
to
him to
assimilate.
seize control of the city, have a group of followers, and have it go for so long that no one really remembers the city not being under control of Aldrich.
Which that would realistically only take like 200 years
Yeah.
minimum.
Okay, minimum 200.
But it took a while. It did take a while.
And let's be like, as is
Gwendolyn-
clearly seen from Gwendolyn. Here's the thing: Gwendolyn is literally the dude in the single. He's the single worst guy to fight Aldrich, because what is Aldrich? A big blob. How does Gwendolyn attack? Arrows and single target magic bolts.
Okay, but our version of Gwendolyn, though.
That's great. Your version doesn't.
Death beam.
Your version doesn't matter.
I know, but it the death beam from
Oh.
Dark Souls 1.
Oh yeah, no, the death beam is one of his moves. Remember, it just ignores shields. Like it's actual ethereal, non-corporeal.
I would say versus like the Nameless King, who, depending on when you fight him, is either running around wielding the full power of lightning, or riding a bird that breathes fire.
Yeah, riding a dragon of some sort.
Which
yes.
Aldrich is weak to.
Yeah, like it's literally the difference between, okay, well, do you want to eat You want to eat Batman here, or do you want to eat Superman? Batman can fight, but compared to Superman, one punch is significantly harder.
Also has,
That makes all the
heat vision.
difference.
But yeah, like, and here's the thing, right? I can easily understand Aldrich's idea, which is I'll eat the little one, and then I'll eat a bigger one, and then I'll eat a bigger one. Like,
Which, I mean, that's what he did.
Well,
well, no, because here's the problem, Sneaky. He ate the little one, and then in the process of eating the little fish, he found somehow inside the little fish the magic murder knife.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's not just that though. Which also interesting implications that Gwendolyn knew Priscilla enough for the life hunt scythe to be summoned. But
Well, no, because remember, it's probably not that he knew Priscilla well. In fact, it was probably more of a nightmare scenario. Because remember, the text on Life Hunt Scythe is everybody was spooked by this.
I know, but the description from Life Hunt Scythe in 3, it puts a very different spin on how Gwendolyn
That's
viewed
true.
Priscilla.
That's true.
well, the initial thought was like, oh, is it talking about Yorkshire? And then you're like, wait, no, this could be referring to Priscilla being locked away, and oh dear. And then that became everyone's favorite news ship for like 6 months.
What? Gwendolyn times.
Gwendolyn and Priscilla, and he just hasn't told Yorkshire the truth.
Well, it can't now.
No, no, he can't.
Also, I always felt bad for the Brass Keeper because the Brass Keeper's set is like, damn, girl, you ugly. Put a helmet on.
Anyway, so chosen undead, walking through a forest. I have not, even better news, I have not seen a demon in a mile. Great progress! Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. That was the humor. Everybody's supposed to laugh.
Yep.
Wait, oh no, I forgot if you say that, you tempt fate. Somebody help me. Gwyn, damn it. I make my way over to the voice as quick as my weak legs allow me to. After a minute of running and wobbling, you've clearly never been to the point of wobbling and tried to run. It doesn't happen. I have found the general location in which the voice came from. It was the bottom of the cliff.
If you run enough that you're literally trembling from exhaustion, and then you try to get up and run more, the best you're gonna do is kind of a shambling lurch.
Yeah, pretty much. And there was a bear, and it was moving at the woman. Its roar was filled with power. Prior history, telling me what she was about to become. Yeah, really honorable night there, my dude. If I do not stop the foul demon. Okay, so literally not everything is a demon. That's actually racist. Like,
yeah.
Actually racist to just be like, that is a creature. It is a demon.
Yeah, because that.
I'm sorry. I just imagine the Taurus demon like standing in the corner, like, really?
That's racist, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, I imagine some dude points at one of the abyss creatures. It's a demon. The actual demons. Really?
That's
really?
That's really
no,
offensive.
they most certainly, because like
just because demons commit 100% of the crimes.
Oof. But like, Vati does do a good job of like compiling his arguments for lore and all that.
Yes.
The one he did for Islith was actually really interesting.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, they probably had an actual civilization, and they they had actual architecture.
Well, yeah, I would say everything
Probably
he
a
points out
thriving
is
civilization. It was just Gwyn being a dick.
Oh, massive
the
cunt.
end.
Yeah.
well, to be fair, we don't know that they weren't causing problems.
No, we don't,
don't.
but we also know that Gwyn was a. There's some.
We
We also know that
understand
Gwyn was a
power
massive
hungry.
prick.
Gwyn was a reactionary dick.
Yeah.
Gwyn is just Zeus,
Yes.
basically.
Literally, though.
But
But
you know,
less
we don't
fucking.
have as many. We don't have as many stories of him pegging everything that walked.
Well, he does have a shit ton of kids,
He
He has
3.
4.
which is a lot of kids for a god.
He has
Compared to
River,
all the other gods'
Merlin,
kids, which is
Nameless King.
none.
What's the 4th?
I thought there was a 4. Am I? Maybe I was.
You might.
Hold on.
You might be thinking back to the fan theory of
Solaire.
Solaire might be the lost.
Yeah.
The lost son.
Salem was the bed of chaos. No, Salem would not be the bed of chaos. If Salem had to be involved in
Salem
Dark Souls
was
lore,
chaos.
she would definitely be on the side of Nito. Nito
You know,
or Four Kings. Probably
in all
not.
honesty, if Salem was there, no, I think she'd be more likely to be the 4 Kings, like you mentioned. She would just take over the upgrades.
Yeah.
Like how Steam keeps recommending me Black Ops 3, and it's like, if I could just buy the zombie stuff by itself, sure.
Yeah, basically.
But I can't. So
Oh man, Bed of Chaos is gonna be a trip for poor Valkyrie.
Bed of Chaos is gonna be an interesting trip for everyone. It's like, well, I guess I'm never having these cookies again.
Oh yeah, Filianor. Max, remember? 4.
Filianor, as far as I'm aware, is not a direct descendant in that manner. Maybe a granddaughter, but I have no idea where you have the idea that Filianor is a direct daughter of Gwyn.
Hold on.
Anyway, so
Yeah, I know. I'm looking.
I wouldn't let her share my horrible fate. If she dies, she'll become undead. That's not. No, that's complete headcanon, author. Really shit headcanon.
Thanks to Dark Souls 3, we learned that the curse of the undead was much more sinister than we initially realized.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I just realized, Sneaky, if we continue into Dark Souls 3, getting that little nugget's gonna be a massive fucking, like, problem for Hovel.
Hovel finds out. Flashback to when he found his bow on the roof. And the occult club. And he's just like, ah. That explains a lot.
It explains more than I want it to.
Hovel, are you okay? No.
No.
I am.
I'm gonna have to punch my good friend in the face when I get back.
Pardon me.
I am going to go back in time now and punch my commander in the face. I think this guy hasn't played past Dark Souls 1. I mean, he published it last year. So...
Wait, no, did he say that he's never played Dark Souls?
Right. He has never played Dark Souls. So he is literally just headcanoning how all of this works.
It is just like, listen, man, as much shit as I give people for taking Vativich's word as, like, a word of God thing.
Okay, to be fair, though...
watching his videos will at least get you updated on some
as far as Dark Souls community lore goes, watching Vatividya is a good way of getting a decent grasp on canon and a significant amount of inferred fanon.
Oh, most assuredly. I'm not going to discount that. He does have good lore videos. He does have well-structured arguments, and he does source where he gets his thoughts from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, just watch his Undead Curse. Watch that video. It will give you a basic understanding of what's going on.
Anyway. I was thinking of jumping off, but I might die. Oh wait, I'm an undead. Why am I worried about death?
Sneaky, that's literally explained in the cutscene.
Stupid habits.
Stop dying.
Stupid habits. What? So at the bottom of this cliff he's on, there's a woman being attacked by an Ursa screaming for help.
Yep.
And the chosen undead goes, if this woman dies, she'll turn into an undead, because that's how this works. How am I going to help her, though? If I jumped, I'll just die. Oh, wait. If I die, I'll just come back because I'm undead, and that's how this works. Stupid habits of from when I wasn't undead? You mean those habits that most likely broke because you were undead and did Dark Souls 1?
Yeah, probably by the 5th. We'll just go and...
Okay, so I'm sorry. So I was once again incorrect, and I'll gladly admit to that. All we know is Filianor is in some way related to Gwyn because she's listed as a princess, and Gwyn himself said, "Nobody wake this bitch up."
Is that listed under some item text?
Well, I'm sorry.
No, okay. I believe what Atin thought for why she's a daughter of Gwyn is
princess. Here is straight
because
from
of the Vadi video.
Argo. Unknowing visitor, return from whence thou came. The abyss runneth deep. By the king's decree, none may disturb our mistress's slumber. Turn back, unknowing visitor. By the king's decree. King's decree, king's decree. Spear of the church, sworn defender of our princess Filianor.
Okay.
She's at minimum related to Gwyn. Like I said, I was wrong. I was possibly incorrect about her being...
No, like I said, I think you're getting that from Body Video.
City is the city of pygmies.
Yeah.
So are we sure that's not talking about the king pygmy?
No,
because that's talking about Gwyn specifically. Because there have been multiple kings in Dark Souls. Thank you, Dark Souls 2, you cunt.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that the Ring City is implied to have existed before all the shit went down with Age of Fire. And, because that's specifically where the undead curse came from. Because he's afraid that they would stop the Age of Fire, which means he had to put the undead curse on them before the flame started fading. But Princess Filianor might just be a title for the group that's dedicated to her. But the undead...
What do you mean, a title for the group that's dedicated to her?
The church spears or whatever. They might just call her Princess Filianor because they hold a fanatical regard towards her.
Possible, but unlikely since... Regardless of... That's pretty unlikely, since regardless of who that king is, a king said don't wake her up.
Yeah, but you also have to keep in mind that there is a somewhat Japanese culture, and the Japanese culture produced this game, and the Japanese culture has a... I don't know I don't know if this directly comes from Japanese culture, but there is a trope that is displayed in both anime, manga, and their games, in where rich, young women are referred to as hime by their staff and lowers. So, when translating English, it's possible that that was just translated to Princess Filianor.
Right.
And because the church spears hold her in such high regard, they would be calling her Filianor Hime if the Japanese culture trope plays out. Now, it's Vadi Vidya who is the one who supposed that she is called princess because she is a descendant of Gwyn.
Correct.
And as far as we know, Max, the Ring City is governed by a council of pygmies because it's multiple chairs around a round table that Gale hunted down. Multiple people. The only thing we know about a king of pygmies is the one Mad King, the only Mad King that is impaled forever upon a spear because of his permanently undying nature.
Yeah.
So it's entirely possible that the history went, there used to be kings of the Ring City, and then one guy went fucking insane, so he got impaled on a spear and locked away, and all the people were like, well, we can't just crown a new king because the old king isn't dead yet, so we're just going to have a ruling council to replace him until he comes back, quote unquote. Which is a thing that has happened in history before. Not the undying king part, but the part where no one wanted to replace the king, so they just said, oh, it's a council of nobles now.
I would say, where it was not politically expedient to replace the king.
So the nobles just said, it's now a council of nobles.
It's a council that's standing in until the king gets back. Didn't you have the king and every single one of his descendants shipped to Malta? Shh.
Basically, yeah. But we don't actually know anything beyond that there was a council that Gale hunted down, and that there was a Mad King impaled upon a spear. Yeah. Anyway, Dark Souls lore.
Way more interesting than this crap.
And then, of course, there is the ultimate fuck you, the lightning arrow.
And here's Underplayed Creations asking who even was the third of Pygmy. The short answer to that is we don't know. There's like a 60% chance it was Manus, but we can't be positive.
We actually do not know. It's implied that Manus is either a direct descendant or is the third of Pygmy.
Yeah, because
he is the primeval human, while there is Pygmy as a race as well, because the Ring City had Pygmy rulers over the humans, and it went from Pygmy to primeval human to ancient human to human, who all had different body sizes, strength levels, racism, class tiers, and a whole bunch of fun stuff. So we knew they were distinctive groups. But as far as, but the thing is that Manus didn't identify himself as the primeval man. It's scholars who dug up his grave who identified him as the primeval man. So they might just be cunts.
Lightning arrow was such a kick in the dick.
Oh, lightning! Literally, everyone looked at lightning arrow and said, "Shut the fuck up, FromSoft." Silence, Brand.
I'm sorry, why did everybody hate this one?
Because Lightning Arrow's lore is literally... It was said that women shot this arrow at dragons or something. But we don't really know because everything is really just a tall tale from the past.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I literally explained this to you during our Dark Souls 3
playthrough. Fuck you!
It's like, it's just a big F you to people theorizing stuff. Even the stuff that's explicitly told to us may no longer be true.
Yeah.
Well, at least by the time we get to Dark Souls 3, probably. But, I mean, that's always kind of... I mean, they've always said that the miracles are stories, and I know...
Well, no, the thing is that the lightning arrow was implying that all the flavor text for all of the items was literally just hypotheticals that were made up about the item's history.
Not necessarily. It could just be talking about miracles, because
it wasn't.
Let me... Okay, and how do you know that?
Because they didn't specify miracles.
Okay.
They said
Counterpoint.
all.
Counterpoint. No, they didn't say all. I'm looking at it right now. But remember, beautiful stories are always marked by embellishment. The miracles are stories. And as they put in the flavor text for Dark Souls 2, if people just told the story enough, sometimes it became impossible to tell the real from the fake. So
That's
no.
using Dark Souls 2 lore.
Okay, but even if we ignore Dark Souls 2 lore, if we work just off Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3, we are told that miracles are the tales of
Yeah,
the gods.
I
And
know.
this text specifically says beautiful stories. Stories, tales.
But also, though, flavor text of items are their stories.
Yeah, I think you're reading too much into it. And I understand this is Dark Souls and we've been encouraged to read into it, but I think this item description on a miracle, which we are explicitly told are tales and stories, the implication.
Max, the top comment or most recent comment. Lightning Arrow is Miyazaki's apology for the Way of Right Corona.
Oof. That's just mean.
Oh.
I'm sorry, what was that one?
It was this really shit spell that basically
Oh yeah, I
placed
remember.
down
It was the
the
useless.
Halo.
It was the useless disc.
Yeah. And
I
if you
actually
stood
needed a
in a
moment to
miracle
remember what it
halo of
was.
another person, it would be stronger, but it's like, that basically never fucking happened outside the forest.
Yeah.
Top downvoted comment. PvP crutch for faith builds who can't use emit force.
Oh.
Or
Top-
trade with poise.
Top downvoted comment by a significant margin. When people use this is the second most downvoted comment. When people use this for Fight Club, I just try to go near the gap. They die 100% when I use emit force on them. Screw these filthy bastards.
Is Lightning Arrow the FAMAS of Dark Souls 3?
Lightning Arrow
Kind
really
of
isn't that
is.
great in PvP. It's got, even with quick cast time, it's got a pretty decent wind up.
I mean, it's got a wind up, but once you start casting it, you can keep casting it until you run out of mana. So it's really easy to spam.
Yeah, Lightning Arrow is. Way of White Corona, though, is not a great PvP tool. Like,
No, all these comments are about Lightning Arrow.
aren't we on Way of White Corona right now?
No, we're on Lightning Arrow.
Oh. Oh, yeah, I'm dumb. My apologies.
Top
'cause I was looking-
upvoted comment. Carrot. Everyone complains about the uselessness of spells. From gives us top tier offensive spell. Everyone screeches autistically.
But yeah, I don't think it's that great a PvP spell. Like, you...
It really isn't.
Roll.
Especially if you have a good lightning shield, you can just fucking sprint
or
at
just
someone.
use a lightning shield, because it's just a miracle. It does almost no stamina damage.
Yeah, just fucking blitz at someone.
They will definitely run out of FP before you run out of HP, unless you're using like 20 vigor, like Sneaky.
Yeah. Everyone's talking about how great it is. I'm just like, I have become Zelda, Sniper of Ganon.
Ganons. Thank you, someone.
One of the top of downloaded comments. Is it just me, or is the damage too low?
Tasty
About as
salt.
pathetic as the Corona disc. Man. I was so bad for Way of the White Corona now.
Poor Way of...
Almost.
Alright, well, let's see what it says about Way of White Corona.
Oh,
Thank
boy.
you, Dark Souls. Best spell ever. Way of White Coronavirus. Thank you, Extra Life.
Okay.
Too bad From isn't tuning game content anymore, especially DLC. They just gave up bouncing stuff they never use. I wonder if you use the spell on low-level invasions, would it work?
No, it doesn't. Way of White Corona doesn't work ever at all on anyone.
Yeah, it's the only time the Way of White Corona is.
Oh! For when you want to cosplay as Carillion and be as useful as him too.
Oh,
Oh!
that's mean to Krillin. It actually was useful.
I want to point out the only time it's useful is in come on, brain. When the priests in the Ringed City use it to make themselves into a fucking top.
I guess.
Oh my god, Siki, do you remember the first time you got hit by that guy? You walked around the corner. Oh, this dude's getting ready to cast. Bam!
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes.
We were so excited. We'd finally made it down those stupid stairs.
Top upvoted comment. Pretty okay, but not as good as Light.
Not as good as Castlight. Alright.
73 thumbs up.
Sometimes I really do love this community.
I mean,
Like-
Castlight is probably the best. I mean, let's be real here.
The
Castlight is
clerics
probably the
lost
best.
their frisbee. We're just the ones that happened to find it again and tried to use it as a weapon for some reason.
Now all I can imagine is a bunch of dudes in Anne Orlando throwing this giant white disc back and forth that it doesn't hurt them because they've got super faith powers. But like some poor human walked in between it one day, got cut in half, and then all the priests were like, "Oh shit!
Hide it, hide the body, hide the evidence.
Quick, throw it in the painting." No, give it to quick, give it to Seath. He's always hiding bodies.
What does he do with us anyways? We don't ask.
We don't ask. Isn't he the one who gave us a painting with a bunch of fanatics guarding it? We don't ask.
Okay, so, yeah, so the guy jumps off, and now Good Hunter's like, OMG, Moon is Bork. And there's a child out here. This is probably a trap, totally because Patches would definitely let a child out in the middle of a nightmare. This is totally his style because his last prank dumped me in a poisonous river for 30 minutes and I used up all of my blood vials and antidotes. Well, A, that's because you're shit. B, you trusted Patches.
Like, listen, Patches is the most suspicious he's ever been in Bloodborne.
Does anyone else think that the tentacle enemies in the 3 of the first bosses
In
phase...
3, like, the first boss's second phase was... Oh! No. You just threw fire at them.
What boss we talking about?
They're talking about the infected.
He's talking about Gundyr.
The abyssal dudes.
Yeah.
Gundyr?
Remember how Gundyr turned
Remember?
the oily snake mad thing? And then
Oh!
that was just a regular enemy?
Oh, Gundyr, yeah, Gundyr, and then I used fire on him and it nuked him. Yeah, good time.
I remember it was so funny because we started. I was like, "Ooh, the
You
cell
were-
sword looks cool. I've
You
got
yeah,
2 swords."
cell sword, and I was
And
the
I had-
pyromancer, of course.
I was having so much trouble with Gundyr, and Sneaky's like, "Why are you having so much trouble? I beat him super easy."
I like 3-shot him with fireballs.
And I'm like, "What do you mean you 3-shot him with fireballs?" And then I backed up and I tried using the firebombs, and I was like, "Why did this do more damage than like 4 hits from my sword?"
Dark Souls!
And so then I was like, "All right," I got him low, and then I just threw 3 firebombs at him, and I was like,
Oh, and then came the What was that area called? The reverse
Gotta give me something
world?
to work with.
The
Where?
what?
The reverse world?
Oh, just
The-
the Dark
Grave?
World. Yeah, Champion's Grave.
No, where it was you had to
All
fight
black,
Gundyr
where
again?
you fight Udex Gundyr. That's the Champion's Grave.
Yeah. Oh, that was Champion's Grave? Okay.
Did we ever go beat Udex Gundyr in my world?
Probably
I
not.
don't think so. We can go back for that. But there's no reason. No, we had to because you went you fought Black Knights, and you got the coiled sword fragment, so you had to. Have
Yeah,
beaten
if you
them.
had Cold Sword Fragment. Yeah.
That fight is so forgettable.
Like it's a fun fight. It's just
It was a reversal of fortunes where Atin was like, oh, this is easy, and I'm sitting here like, yeah, I got like a 10-foot pole shoved up my ass.
because you fight him the second time, and he is not vulnerable to fire
He's
at all.
not vulnerable to
'Cause
fire anymore.
This one hasn't been infected. I think lightning still worked on him though.
Yes, it did.
And since pyromancy, made use of intelligence and faith in this game because they decided to fuck with the scaling on pyromancy for the first time, and boy, that sucked.
Everything burns.
I still remember we started using pyromancy, and whenever we found a boss that we couldn't beat with normal fire, we were like,
Miracle
Evil fire?
time! Blood!
"No, Sneaky, we didn't bust out blood until we couldn't beat Freed,
Oh,
and we
right.
couldn't beat what's his face,
Gale?
Gale. We tried to beat it the normal way. We really did try."
Oh man, fucking Freed despised me.
Freed hated you so much.
Fucking walks up to to the fucking boss mist. Stabs through doorway. Why does this always happen?
Yeah. It's gonna be
Yeah,
interesting you having your first heavy boy fight with Gale.
Oh, that'll be weird.
Ooh, good luck.
He'll probably be fine. 'cause
Anyway,
it's
so
just a new
we're
game.
actually like deep into the past times.
Oh.
So basically, it's just a really garbage story, honestly. Basically,
I'm
Yeah,
really interested in this.
it's just terrible.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for the record, new game plus 6, she had 6,572 health in phase 1.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, it's just really shit fights, and the Chosen Undead and Good Hunter both save 2 people that are there, and info time. Venatores Luna. Oh wow, the Good Hunter's named Moon. So creative. Class. Cruel Fate. Is that a class?
I think so. The classes are rather than being like knight, sellsword, stuff like that, they're all more of a flavor text thing for like,
Oh.
what was your upbringing? How did you
Right.
grow up? Were you a milquetoast? Were you a nobody? Did you have a fate?
Level 150, HP 35, Endurance 30, Strength 30, Skill 25, Blood Tinge 20, Arcane 60, Insight 50, Hair color a blue silver, deep purple eyes, race beast, height
That's not a
5'10", fucking manlet. Age 18, but his mental age is 70. Weapon, burial blade and everything else. Sidearms, Evelyn and everything else. Class, knight. Oh, sorry, Mors Ignis. His name is Fire. His name is Great Fire.
Yep.
Really.
Cool.
Class, knight. level 150. That is rookie numbers. You're pathetic. Vigor 35. Pathetic. Attunement 35. Pathetic. Endurance 33. Why would you? Vit 20.
Wait,
Wait.
No, I was gonna say
what, was Vit a stat in Dark Souls?
no. Or no, Vit was. It was
Attributes: vitality, attunement, endurance, strength, dexterity, resistance, intelligence, faith, and humanity.
That's right. Vit was rolled into endurance.
Well, no, Vit was taken out of endurance.
Yeah.
Get it right.
What?
Wait. No, sorry. Vigor. We're getting confused. Vigor's the one that's supposed to be inside endurance.
No, didn't Vigor become health and vitality to swap to something
No,
else?
vitality is still here, my dude. Vitality. Dark Souls 1.
Which is the one that
No.
governed stamina?
No.
Because that's the one that governed.
Vitality
used to
is
be
maximum
health, I
HP.
think. Yeah, vitality used to be health, then it was swapped over to something. Dark
Endurance
Souls 2
was.
really fucked everything up. But no,
Okay.
endurance was equip load and
No.
stamina. That
No, it's vigor was equip load. No, sorry, vigor was stamina, while endurance became equip load in the future
Yeah.
games.
I miss endurance being equip load and stamina.
Here's the
It
problem,
just-
Max.
it actually makes sense.
It made big builds too strong.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Excuse
Big
me,
build
author.
leaders-
You literally are including stats that don't exist.
Here's the problem, Max. They had to make it. They needed to find a way to balance it for Dex builds because
Dex builds have katanas. Your
What?
argument is valid.
Max.
Sneaky's still bothered by that.
Yeah, I know.
No, it gets worse.
Look,
What do you
Max.
mean?
I
Strength
understand.
55, Dex 20, Intelligence 20, Faith 25, Luck 11, Humanity 30. Humanity is not a stat, though.
It is.
It is.
No,
remember?
it is, but it isn't.
No,
If
but
he
it
had
is
30
assigned to them.
humanity on him.
No, he's treating humanity like it's a stat you level up. When you level up, he's including it in his level 150 breakdown, like he put 30 points into humanity.
I see. Yeah.
Isn't it a
Yeah.
stackable buff thing? Technically speaking,
It is
sort
but
of, yes.
You can lose it. It's a stat that's actually super variable.
It's a stat
It
that's
can
not
work.
attached to your level.
Yeah.
It is a stat that is entirely dependent on the amount of liquid humanity on your character.
Race, human undead, that's... Dead is race.
Undead is quite literally an affliction because anybody can get it.
Age, 18, mental age, 68.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not crazy. Yeah, Vigor did become the new HP, and Vit became the new equip load.
Okay,
Why
so
is it
that's...
Dark Souls 2 stats?
Super dumb.
Why is he using Dark Souls 2 stats for Dark Souls 1? What the fuck?
Wait. Well, no. Does he have Oh my God, what was it? Adaptability in there?
No.
No, because
So-
adaptability was trash.
I'm not saying adaptability wasn't trash, Max. Let me finish my point.
He's saying we're not
I'm
using
not
Dark Souls
talking
2
about you,
stats.
Atin.
No, he's saying we're not using Dark Souls 2 stats if adaptability isn't in there. Which means
Or he's using Dark Souls 2 stats and he just
removed
took
adaptability.
out.
Yeah,
But
there's
that
no
wouldn't
reason to
make
have
any
humanity.
sense.
That doesn't make he wouldn't need humanity. That's
No,
Yes.
Nexus. Humanity was derived from how many humanities you had on you, which you would lose.
Again, let's be clear. It was not how many items you had that were labeled humanity. It was how many of those items you used, and that number was displayed also prominently in the upper left corner of the screen,
Yeah.
right next to your health and stamina.
And you
Yeah,
could
and-
use humanities from the humanity bar to increase flames, to become unhallowed, and that's about. And you could also sacrifice them to certain covenants.
Yeah, you'd earn them.
You equip
fighting
them like
bosses
embers,
as
and you
well.
can lose and regain them when you die. No, no, no,
No.
no. You get a
That's
consumable called humanity. You use the consumable, and then you get a bar with a number from 0 to 99 that is your humanity counter, which can then be used to spend on either giving humanities to certain covenants, or you can use a humanity at a bonfire to de-hollow yourself, or you can use a humanity from that bar to kindle the flame. Now, the consumable humanity also restored your HP to max, just like an Ember did.
or in some cases divine blessing,
Yeah.
making it much more useful than one of the rarest drops in the game.
Yes.
I would just say you could lose it in that if you died, any humanity in your bar would be left on your bloodstain.
No,
Which, if you lost the bloodstain, you lost the humanity.
No, was the humanities dropped on Bloodstain? I don't think they were.
Yeah, it was.
Whatever humanity was currently on your
No,
counter,
I thought the
dropped on
humanities were only dropped on Bloodstain when a dark spirit killed you.
No,
Nope.
just when you died in general.
Okay.
You might be thinking of when you killed an invader and you hit their bloodstain, you'd gain the humanity that they had.
Yes, yeah. Anyway, mental age
I would say,
68.
which was the only thing that made chaos builds risky.
Yeah. Weapons: Great Sword of Artorias, cursed and unknown. Sidearms: none yet. Ranged: same as above. Spells: unknown. The dots mean I'll reveal them later. Fuck off.
Get out of
author.
here.
This was just a terrible fucking story.
If he does the stat breakdown at the end of each chapter.
Does he?
Not for chapter 15.
Not for chapter 2.
Not for chapter 3. Not for chapter 5.
Literally, chapter 2's author's note at the end is literally just a thank you to From Software, Rooster Teeth, my brother. He's literally giving a thank you speech. Just, this is so fucking cringe. And it's got 600 favorites. Okay, well, that makes me feel a lot better, actually.
Does it?
Yeah, at least it's not like that one fucking Ruby story that made me write the Naruto Ruby story in the first place, where it, like, Naruto was an Uchiha that got transported into Remnant's past, and he was immortal like Salem, and he was Ruby's uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That story had 1,500 favorites.
Okay, yeah, there are no other stat breakdowns like that.
Yeah, so, the author's just garbage. The story is utterly painful, and he doesn't even play 1/3 of the story he's writing about. Now, don't get me wrong. I have met authors who write Worm stories and Naruto stories who haven't read Naruto or Worm. They are very few and far in between that were good. And the good ones heavily wiki dived and had a significant number of people betaing the story to make sure it was lore compliant. Or you could just go through the effort of writing for series you actually fucking know. I mean, I'm just saying, instead of spending a lot of time on a wiki for a series you've never played, watched, or learned about, you could instead write a fan fiction for a series you're a fan of. Wild idea, I know. Fucking brain explosions everywhere. Fucking Q Kingsguard. Why bother with stats anyway? I don't know. Stats literally really don't even matter beyond using them as bars to theoretically explain the difficulties of certain spells and the ability of weightlifting. Beyond that, the stats really don't matter at all. And there's really no actual canonical bar to judge them by as to why X, Y, or Z. Yeah. But anyway, it's fucking 9:30 now. We're all exhausted in some form or fashion. I appreciate everyone who stayed to this point to hear me scream. I appreciate everyone who stayed until 9 o'clock to normal time we're supposed to end at. But without further ado, I will remind you that we are going to be here Friday, and every Tuesday and every Friday until I probably die, because I'll probably die before this series actually ends. But we'll be here from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because those clocks are turning, my dudes. We're going back into daylight savings time, which means we're moving an hour ahead to save that daylight from itself. But without further ado, I will see you next time, because there's always more, and it always gets worse.